New York City. Not sure if you can see, but there's a Freedom Tower right there. We got some buildings behind me, just all across, and we're over by the Hudson River. One of my favorite places in New York. I grew up here, of course, but I've traveled to many different places: Istanbul, Paris, London, Tel Aviv, and I'm going to even more. So stick around if you want to see those. Anyway, I'm here to talk about like the best place to go, hands down, I think personally, to get an overall feel for a city. And it's exactly where I am now, the body of the water that is next to the city. So most cities, especially if there's a huge culture there, they were built next to a body of water because back in the day there wasn't that good sewage systems and plumbing and whatnot. So you had to be by water basically to survive. Anyway, I'm here and I just went for a run. If you can't see, I'm like super sweaty. And every time I land in a new city, I go for a run immediately the next day. I could have fun the first day and whatnot and explore, but I just found like running by the water, I get to see the types of people that are there because everyone always likes to walk by the beach or by the water, nice cool breeze going, or it's just like pretty often. And that basically like keeps from staying inside, staying in my hotel room. And I feel like I'm getting something productive done as well. I'm running. You don't necessarily have to run, but I get, even if you just go on a long walk, and I've done this, especially in the last days in a city, I've just gone on a super long walk down the coastline just to like see what else there is to find. It's basically canoeing. You're familiar with golf pots. Anyway, with this, you just go down the body of water and you start walking. It's simple. You can stop by, often there's coffee shops around, but like sometimes you'll just see cool people, especially on a weekend. You'll see a ton of performers by the water. One of my favorite cities in the world, Tel Aviv. There was always somebody performing in the afternoons near sunset in the summer. It was just like such a vibe. You end up just dancing with as they're performing. So many people are dancing there, and then you meet people too. Like you're just like, oh, like someone else is bringing the vibe. Let me match that vibe. And then after they're done with the song, you can talk to them. That's like a great way to meet people. But basically, you want to just go down the body of water. Most cities will have it, and if it doesn't, go to just wherever your bike path is, basically, because bike paths are often very scenic and whatnot. And there's also supposed to be a walking path next to the bike path a lot of the times, and that's where you'll see a lot of the foot traffic. So near all these tourist attractions and whatnot, there'll be foot traffic. There'll all be tourist foot traffic. You go down by the water or like the most popular walking path, that's where all the locals go, and that's where you want to be. You want to be meeting locals, not other tourists. Often it's fun to meet other tourists, but you really want to just get the most out of the scenario and like know people who know the city who can recommend you places. That's also like a pro tip. Just like if you see a local and you have a specific question, ask them. Most of the time they'll answer if they speak your language. So like people, you often are like, oh, I'm so scared, whatnot. But that's the beauty about being a traveler in a new city. It's like you have so many questions, you don't know where anything is, and people are often willing to help if you just ask nicely, and you can even make a friend out of it. So I'm gonna take this on for one more minute of this ranty topic. But like, if you're just going to bars expecting to meet people, that's a great way. But you got to make it known you're a tourist for sure. With this, you can go down. There's often bars by the water. Like that's where you'll find a lot of people who really enjoy the same things as you. Who, if you do enjoy the water, like they like pretty scenery, they like just chilling. And if you're going to like a super loud bar with like dancing and partying where you can't really talk, you're not going to meet people there. But if you go down to the New York, is the perfect one, the Watermark that my brother works at. It's chiller, but you could also go dancing, and they have great drinks there. But it's just a vibe by the water with some music playing, and you can still talk comfortably. You don't have to worry about having to yell, and then there's no conversation happening. So you often want to go with places that you can really talk and connect with people on a real level, not just being like, oh, like, where's the restroom? And you're like, what? Going back and forth. That's so stupid. Just go to places where you can actually have a free flowing conversation. And also there, people are like, oh my God, you're from, let's say you're from America and you're in Dubai right now. They'll be like, oh my God, like we got to check out this place. It's like a must see place. It's my favorite cafe. Like, let's see it tomorrow. And the next day you'll link up with them and you already made a friend. That's all my advice for today. So if you guys are in some place new right now, like right this instant, go grab a friend. If you're not with a friend, you're solo traveling, just get down to the nearest body of water where there's people. And you'll end up having a great time no matter what. A little bonus, get some exercise in, go for a run. Or even if it's just like a walk with some headphones in, that always works. Hope you all have an amazing day. And stay epic. Safe travels.